Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials.
Guess what? I know something you don't know.
What's that?
How many planets are there in the solar system?
That's easy. Everyone knows that there are 9.
Not anymore. Can you believe it? They've decided that Pluto is not a planet anymore.
Nice try. I wasn't born yesterday, you know.
I'm dead serious. They've decided that it's too small to be a planet, but actually they haven't yet agreed on how big something has to be in order to be a planet anymore.
That sounds crazy, but they can't just change their mind about things like that.
Yes, they can. If you remember correctly, people used to believe that the world was flat.
I suppose you're right. They also used to think that they were so important that the sun revolved around them, not the other way around.
We actually know relatively little about space and the cosmos.
Do you think that we'll one day be able to travel to another planet for a vacation?
I suppose we could actually live on a planet outside of the Milky Way.
Do you think we'll ever get to meet an alien from outer space?
I hope not. I think they would be a threat to those of us that lived on the Earth.
You're so old-fashioned. That's what people used to think about people from another country.
Point taken. Hopefully one day, we'll live in an interplanetary society.
I really enjoyed tonight's party. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome, Bob. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, too.
You went out on a date last night, didn't you?
Yes, I did, but Linda stood me up. She didn't keep the date for the first time.
How come?
I don't know.
Why don't you phone her for a date again?
I did phone her this morning, but she hung up on me. I think she is going to walk out on me.
Don't jump to conclusions. Look at the bright side. Try to make another date again.
I will. Thanks for your advice.
I like your sweater. It suits you very well.
Thank you for saying that. It's a present from my girlfriend.
She certainly has the taste.
Have you signed up to join the company's Christmas party?
Sure, I have. Will you join?
I will. You know, as a newcomer, I think it might be a good opportunity to get to know people from the other departments of our company in a more relaxed atmosphere.
You are right. Our company's Christmas party has always been an amazing occasion for everybody to relax and get to know each other better. It is also a time to make new friends and do some networking.
I hope that it is not a formal one when the boss is there.
No, it will not be formal at all. It is a fun time. You will love the game show. Please dress casually. Usually there is an overabundance of drinks, so be careful with that.
Don't worry, I can handle that. And I know if the boss is there, even it is an informal evening, it does not make a good impression to get totally drunk in front of him.
Ms. Anderson, my name is Mike. I am Division Chief of ABC Company. Welcome to Toronto.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure meeting you as well. The flowers are for you.
Thank you. They are beautiful. Would you like to order anything else?
No, I'm good. All we need now is our check.
The waitress is walking over here with our check even as we speak.
I have never had bad service at this restaurant, but this time was really exceptional.
Yes, she really went out of her way to make this a pleasant dining experience.
Let's take a look at our bill. The total price for our dinner is $36.
How much money should we leave for a tip?
I know that 15% is a normal tip, but I really thought that this waitress went out of her way for us. What do you think about tipping her 20%?
She definitely deserves 20% for a tip.
So we can add her tip of $7.20 to the bill of $36 and the total will be $43.20.
Yes, what a wonderful meal.
It absolutely was a great meal. We'll have to return here for lunch sometime.
I like to stay here.
Why?
People are very kind down your way. You're lucky.
Yes, do you always gather to welcome newcomers?
Never.
Really?
Yeah, people down our way hardly speak to each other.
How old are you?
9, but I'll be 10 on May 1st. When is your birthday?
I'm older than you. I'll be 10 on April 14th.
Are you going to have a birthday party?
Maybe. I'll have to ask my mother.
A new film is on. Have you ever seen it?
What kind of movie is it?
It's a feature film.
Oh, I've no interest in such films.
John, I'd like you to meet Charles Brown, our new manager at the airport.
Yes, certainly. How can I recognize him?
He is short, well-built, and he's got light blonde hair.
Is there anything else?
He has a mustache, if I remember correctly, and a light complexion.
How old is he?
He is in his late 30s.
Well, I shouldn't have any trouble recognizing him. What time does his flight arrive?
At 2:30.
What do you think of the lawyer's speech?
He has a glib tongue. Few people can argue him down.
Don't believe him. He's a liar.
We cannot expect a man like him to speak the truth.
This is the end, Jane. I don't want a girlfriend who goes out with other guys all the time.
I won't do it again. Please forgive me.
No way. I've given you too many chances already.
Get up as early as 6 o'clock only to be jammed at every crossroad and still late for work. What a life. I've had enough of it.
Cool down, man. Everyone is fed up with the rush hour traffic. But life isn't really all that. You should take the initiative and make some changes first.
What should I do then?
I recommend you ride a bike instead of commuting by bus. It may offer you many benefits. First, it's good for your health. I'm afraid it's not necessary for me to further elaborate. While lots of people spend time like an hour each morning exercising, a bike ride to work not only builds you up, but also makes full use of time. You might as well sleep out for a longer hour.
I know cycling is always a more favorable choice than a bus. After all, it's a sport. But do you think it a pleasant experience to take in the dirty, cold air on the road?
Well, Such things are just unavoidable in a great metropolis like Beijing. I think a still more desirable benefit is psychological. Bicycling home after work can help release your stress. Life in the offices is miserable. You just sit there in a daze, gazing at the monitor and dealing with files and documents. Why don't you give a full play to your energy after work? Enjoy the speed on the road. Just think, you are flashing past the poles with your own energy. How great!
For our lunch meeting with the investors, do we have to make a reservation at the restaurant or do we just show up?
Usually for lunch, we don't have to reserve a table. They should allow walk-ins. But to be on the safe side, I'll order a table for 12:30. Will that suit your schedule?
I've arranged to meet them at the restaurant at 12. Can you make the reservation a little earlier? If we start earlier, it will give us more time for a longer lunch.
Are you planning on treating the investors to a full-course meal?
Yes, we'll start with appetizers, follow with a soup and salad course, then main dishes of prime rib or cordon bleu chicken, and finish up with a delicious rich dessert of some sort.
That'll be pretty heavy for a midday meal, don't you think?
As long as we stay away from anything alcoholic, we should be okay.
With your prime rib and chicken choices, you'd better hope nobody's vegetarian.
We can make some special arrangement if we need to. After all, it's the company who is footing the bill. Have you seen the new Cosmo magazine that I was reading this morning?
I think I may have seen it on the kitchen table.
You're right, thanks. There's an interesting interview with a top director about his latest film that I want to finish.
Who's the director?
It's Martin Scorsese. You liked his film, The Departed, didn't you?
Yes, it was fantastic. Can I read the article when you're finished?
Sure. You know it has an online edition, too. You should go online to read if you want to read it now.
That's okay. I'll wait until you're finished. Just out of curiosity, do you have a subscription for that magazine?
No, I don't buy it regularly enough for it to be worthwhile.
How much does the magazine cost?
It's almost £3 now, and I think they're going to put the price up to £4 soon.
That's quite expensive. Who is their target audience?
Cosmo mainly has a middle-class readership, but I think circulation will fall dramatically if the price goes up anymore.
I bet you'll still buy it, though. You wouldn't be able to live without your fashion magazine.
It's time for me to go now.
Would you like me to go with you?
I'd rather you stayed in the office and did these things.
Do you want to type that letter?
I'd rather you typed it.
Do you want to tell her?
I'd rather you told her.
So, Fred, what are your plans for after graduation?
Well, I've already got a job waiting for me back in my hometown.
That's cool. Have you already found an apartment to live in?
I'm planning on living with my parents. Won't you?
I couldn't even if I wanted to. My parents told me that if I went home, then I'd have to find my own place.
You mean they're kicking you out?
Not really, they just don't want me living at home. My older sister did that, and she lived at home for 7 years. Once she started living at home, it got harder and harder for her to move out.
Well, it's not like my parents want me to live at home the rest of my life. They said that it's okay if I move back home to begin with, but they want me to find a place of my own after a year or so.
My parents just didn't handle my older sister very well, and because of that, they want me to be more independent. They think that it's important that I should learn how to live on my own.
I know I need to learn that myself, but I just don't have the money for it at the moment. Living at home allows me to save up some money before I started finding a place.
Hey Bob, what you doing?
I'm at home painting.
I didn't know you paint. What type of painting is it?
I enjoy oil painting. I learned it in one of my extra classes in college.
That sounds so interesting. I wish I learned a hobby.
Hobbies are never too late to learn. They offer a variety of classes at the local community college. You should look into it.
I think I will. Thanks for the info.
Will you be okay when you immigrate to America?
Sure. I'm looking forward to it.
What about your parents?
I'll get used to not seeing my parents.
Following our free educational materials, you learn English in a great way with ease and efficiency.